Assalamu alaikum everyone. Nahmaduhu wa nasalli ala rasulihil kareem amma ba'd fa'auzu billahi minash shaitanir rajim bismillahir rahmanir rahim alhamdulillah nahmaduhu wa nasta'inuhu wa nastaghfiruhu wa na'udzu billahi min shururi anfusina wa min sayyiati a'malina man yahdihillahu fala mudilla lahu wa man yudlilhu fala hadiya lahu wa ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika lahu wa ashhadu anna muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني ويفقهوا قولي يا حي يا قيوم برحمتك أستغيث رب اغفر وارحم أنت خير الراحمين أستغفر الله ربي من كل ذنب وأتوب إليه اللهم أجرني من النار اللهم إنك عفو تحب العفو فاعف عني اللهم إنك عفو تحب العفو فاعف عني اللهم إنك عفو تحب العفو فاعف عني. Dear brothers and sisters in Islam, first, thank you so much for joining. Quick disclaimer, I'm not a scholar by any means. I'm a student. I'm trying to learn and share the knowledge together with all of us, inshallah. That's the whole purpose. If there are any mistakes or any wrong things or any shortcomings in this talk, they are from myself and from shaitan. And if there is anything good in this, is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept this effort of all of us of joining in the month of Ramadan and going through this discussion that we're doing together. As always, let's go ahead and do a little bit of a revision of what we have discussed yesterday. It was just 22nd, and we have discussed Surah Al-Ahzab, Surah As-Sabah, Surah Fatir, and Surah Yasin we discussed yesterday. We learned yesterday how a woman should interact in the society, where and how she can talk to people, and which accent and which means of communication should be there, and how she can talk where there are no misunderstandings and nothing is wrong. We learned that how a family life can be very successful. We also learned there are a few names of Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. If you would remember, we'll quickly go through those names. The Shahidan was witness, the bringer of the good tidings, and warner, Nazira. And the meaning was that who refers you, who calls you to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's orders. And he is like, his name is illuminating lamp, Sirajan Munira. Illuminating lamp is another name for Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We also learned yesterday, Inna Allaha wa malaikatihi yusalluna ala nabiyya ayyuhallazina amanu wa sallu alayhi wa sallimu taslima. Who you believe, no doubt, Allah, listen to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah and his malaika, his angels, say salam to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So, Muslimun, you people who you believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with the iman, please thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and say Darud Sharif to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Make sure we do that all the times. We recite it as much as we can. And we know with the scholars, they have told us that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam responds you or respond to each and every single salam that's been presented to him. So let's do that. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ala ali Muhammadin. Kama sallaita ala Ibrahim wa ala ali Ibrahim innaka Hamidum Majid. Allahumma barik ala Muhammadin wa ala ali Muhammadin kama barakta ala Ibrahim wa ala ali Ibrahim innaka Hamidum Majid. So let's recite the Darud Sharif as much as we can, especially in the month of Ramadan as well. We also learned about the parda, the hijab, when we learned that the women should get their additional cloth, or the outer cloth actually, more down on their face and their body as well. In Surah Saba, we learned about yesterday about the Sulaiman alayhi salam and Daud alayhi salam and their miracles. And we learned that Rasuls are for the mankind, and especially Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was for the all mankind. And there is a belief, when the scholars discuss this very in the detail, it's also proved from the story of the Isra, that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is not only the prophet of the mankind after his time, but also before his time as well. So there's a long debate in that, but he also did imamat of all the prophets at the time of the Isra. So this is where the reference comes in this picture here. We learned in the Surah Fatir yesterday that the angels have 2 wings and 4 wings, and Allah's doors are open for everyone. And no matter if you're Muslim, non-Muslim, if you're believer, non-believer, you're sinful, you're muttaqi, you're on the right path, Allah's doors are always open for everyone. Allah's blessing, Allah's rahmah, Allah's doors are open for everyone. It's just that we go ahead and ask Allah to let us in. That's all it is. No one will share your burden. On the day of judgment, we learned yesterday that no one will be sharing your burden. So what it means is that everyone in the, sorry about that for 1 second, please. Thank you for your patience. So we learned also that everyone that will be seeing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala at the day of judgment, they will have their good deeds on the right shoulder and their bad deeds on the left shoulder. So it's a burden on them. Although it's a good burden or bad burden, it's either way. We don't know about that really. So in either case, if there will be a burden on them, they will be carrying by themselves. No one else will come and carry their burden. They have to be responsible for all the actions that they will be doing. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make our good deeds more than our bad deeds, and ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to keep us safe from all the bad events and bad deeds in our life. Ameen ya Rabbul Alameen. And again, I'm sorry if my voice is not that great today. It's a little bit more feel of a thirst, maybe because of fasting, or if I did a little bit more exercise outside or whatever I did. So anyhow, moving along further, we know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created a complete galaxy system, a complete orbit system for the sun and the light, and there is a limit being created that no one can catch another one before the other one. And there is a limit granted to everyone living in this world. There's a limit, an extension that, okay, fine, you have a time, revert to me until then, unless then you cannot get back to me, then you will see the consequences. And then we get into Surah Yasin, and we learned Surah Yasin is the name of the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. We also learned the 7 names of Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam as well yesterday. We learned the Quran is the book that Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala talks about, that Yasin wal Quran al-Hakim, that is a word of a Quran, that he's a prophet of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. And then we learned about also Dawa. The Dawa is the message of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that now we need to carry. There will be no other prophet coming in. So we as Muslims have to carry the message of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We have to learn and share with all of us. So that's our job now. So that gets us the revision of yesterday. And now we are entering in Juz 23, which is the Surah Yasin, or the continuation of the Surah Yasin. In this surah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala adopt another different style of conversation. So now he opened an orderly style, an authentic style of an order, when you can say that, why don't you do that? So it's like a different tone is changing in this surah here. So for example, in this surah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala telling to Surah that tell the people that why I should not worship who created me. And you will also return to him. So why should I not worship him? And then the question continues, why should I not turn to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and worship that Allah that created you and me and all the idols of yours? And why you want me to leave Allah and worship those idols, that if Rahman, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, wanted to hurt me, these idols could not even save me, cannot protect me, cannot even do a shifa'a of mine as well. So which clearly means that these idols cannot do any good to any of us. So this style of the communication here in Surah Yasin, in this section especially, completely changed. It says, why should I do it? So this comes to a good lesson for us to the human nature. So first, because you're nice, you are always on the defensive side. And you're like, let's talk nicely. Let's talk nicely. Be on defensive side. Be on defensive side. At one point, you come to a stage of the conversation when you say, "Yeah, whatever. Let's talk straight. Why you want me to do that? Why don't you do it? I've been telling you what is the right thing. You're not listening to me. Why you want me to do the bad thing? I'm not doing the bad thing. If you're not doing good, I'm not doing bad." So that's a kind of a little tone change here. That's something we noticed in Surah Yasin very easily. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned in about ayah 38 and onward that the orbit of the sun and moon and the earth and the stars and everything is running in the sequence in the way that no one is able to go and catch the other one before. They are not crashing to each other. They are set up in the proper calculated manner. And that's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's qudrat and his greatness that only he can do it, and he have done that. All right, so in ayah number 65, now we talk about the mujrimeen. So remember, we learned the words mushrikeen and kafirun. We learned about all those people, those are not listening, munkireen, their refusals, and all those people. Now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is introducing another term for us. It's the term called mujrimeen and mujrims. And what will happen to the mujrims, and who are the mujrims? The people for just to define the word itself, the mujrimeen are the people, those are proven guilty. So there's a phase, right? So someone gets arrested, he's a mulzim at the time, and there's nothing proved. And then at point, then when everything is proved, he's proved guilty, then he becomes mujrim. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling the mujrimeen, and their mouth will be sealed, and their body parts will be witness against them. Their hands will tell that, yep, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he used us in the wrong deeds. Their eyes will tell Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Ya Rabbul Alameen, he looked from us towards the bad things. His feet will give the witness against him. Yes, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he ordered us to walk to the wrong places. He did all these wrong actions, Ya Rabbul Alameen. And your own body parts that you control now, like I'm moving everything my own self now, they will become the witness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They will tell Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that, yeah, this man have done this good or this bad or whatever. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us all to become a mujrim. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us all on the right path. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us all the righteous people, not amongst those people. Those are not guided by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and they will see the consequences on the day of judgment, and they will be called as mujrimeen or mushrikeen or munkireen or kafirun or any of those words. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us all. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us amongst those people that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam will look at them with happiness and smile. Not that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam will look at us and will move his face away. That these people were my ummati, were listening to my message, and they were still not following Allah's message and guidance from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us all from all of that. Ayah number 78 talks about, if dead, who can give life again when the bones will be completely torn in the soil, in the ground? So this is a question that Kuffar asked Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And this is where we are reaching out to end of the surah Yasin, that they ask that, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, how is it possible that someone is dead in the earth, right? So we put it up in the earth, and their body and their bones, how they will become together alive again. In the second example, like for example, Hindus, if we talk about, they burn the bodies. And some people here as well, they do the same thing. They just simply burn the whole body. They don't want to be burdened on the earth after this, whatever their excuse is. But the kuffar asked that Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, tell us, how is it possible that a body that will be dead, the bones, those will be completely gone and mixed in the ground, in the soil, how they will come to the life again, how they will end up in the Jannah or Jahannam again, how they will see the consequences of their bad deeds and the rewards of the good deeds. It doesn't make sense logically to us. And Rasulullah sallallahu and Allah tell them that, okay, if you're thinking that way, let me tell you a few things. First, who will create them? Haza marqadina. I mean, this complete ayah is coming to your mind at this time. So the who gave you the life first time will give you the life again in the second time. And for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it's not difficult. When he have to do it, he simply have to say, not even have to say kun, only word, be, done, and fayakun, so it's done. So it does not even take Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to say kun as well. Kun, be, done, and fayakun is completed. Kun fayakun. And that's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's way of doing things. So if mushrikeen or kuffar think that it's not possible, they have to think about these things, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if he gives you the life first time, he can give you the life second time as well. All right, so then we enter into Surah Safat, which is the 37th Surah of Quran, and which means that ranged in a row, or let's put it this way, the rangers. It's a Makkan Surah with 5 rukus, 182 ayahs. If I look at from the top perspective of this surah, it's divided into 5 parts. The first part talks about the Allah's angels and shayateen, that how they have been, they're groups of both. Remember, sometimes we think that if there was one shaitan, how many people he can distract at the same time? So this is where I got my answer, that there's a groups of shaitan and the groups of angels, they're doing their job everywhere and all together. The second part of Surah Safat talks about the kuffar and their refusals, that how they kept refusing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the message of the truth and the light, how they keep refusing the message. The third top part of this surah talks about the prophets, and Nuh alayhi salam, and Yunus alayhi salam, and Yusuf alayhi salam, not Yusuf alayhi salam, but all these 4 or 5 prophets that we discussed yesterday as well. So it talks about all those prophets in the third part of the surah. The fourth part of the surah talks about the refusal of the relationships of Allah and angels, which means that Rasulullah at the time of Rasulullah, the kuffar said that angels are probably the daughters of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or sons of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or whatever they were saying, all those things. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala denied that here in this, the 4th portion of the surah. And the 5th portion of the surah talks about the Muslims are winning, and mushriks and kuffar are the losers, and they will be losing at the end. It will be proven. So this is again the basic complete bird eye view of the surah. If we go a little bit more in detail, what I just mentioned in the summary is the shaitan was allowed to enter on the top level, alam arwah type, or whatever you can say, alam bala, if you can say that, the top place where the angels live. The shaitan was allowed to enter that place just fine over there, but later on he was not allowed to go there. And if he tries to go there, or their group is trying to go there, they're beaten by the fire. They cannot enter into Al-Mibala now anymore. They cannot be. And if they try to, they're beaten by the fire. In ayah number 40, we learn about that Allah's favorite people and the blessings they will get in the Akhirah. So Allah tells in this portion from ayah number 40 onward that what will happen, the people, those will enter into Jannah, they will have the delicious nuts sitting in front of them. They will be sitting on big couches, for example, like kings in front of each other, like a big party kind of style will be going on. They'll be served with the drink, with the sharab, with that white and pure and delicious. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala used the word of sharab tahura, which means that pure and neat and clean sharab will be served to them. I don't want to say alcohol. It's not alcohol for sure, because alcohol have its own bad ingredient in it. But this is the sharab, the sharbat, the juice or the drink of a joyness. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala further explains that there will be no headaches in the morning or in the night when you're drinking it. When you will drink that sharab from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this will have no headaches. You will not be out of your senses. It will be neat and clean. And then in Jannah, you will be granted with the hurs. Hurs are the prettiest, most form you can imagine, like as an angel, beautiful angel, or you can imagine as the beautiful most women in the world, or even the beautiful than that. So angels and the hurs are one more thing that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned here, that you will be given with the army of hurs, maybe, if I can say that. And they will be watching Jahannamis from the top. So people in the heaven, they will be watching from the top the people in the hell and what's going on to them. They will be watching, and they will be watching, and you will be thanking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that, yes, Allah, thank you so much. You took care of us, and we know your promise was true. You told us to do good, we did it, and you put us in the right place. Ayah 62 talks about now Again, the beautiful style of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. First, He told you if you're good, what will happen? فَهُوَ فِي عِيشَةٍ رَاضِيَةٍ. If you're doing good deeds, you are in ishatin radiya, in the uh, in the in the enjoyment of your own choice. You would be in that position. And if not, for ummuhu hawiya, or what will happen? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling in this surah as well, the position where zaqum will be your food. Zaqum is a tree. I don't know how to translate that, but zaqum is a tree that has a lot of thick water that's just stretched like a lace, kind of that thing. So that tree or that food, that will be the food of those people. Those will be in the hell, and they will be given the water to drink that will be boiling from the hellfire. That will be their drink. So Allah tell them that what will be the food will be for the people in Jannah, and now He's telling what will be the food in the people in the hell. And I was just reading and following a few more things, and I found the example is that if someone in the hellfire would be taken out and put in the fire of this world, they will feel that they are blessed and forgiven. And if you touch the fire in this world, your skin gets burned really bad and it hurts so bad. But now the scholar says that if that body was in the hellfire and will be taken out and will put in the fire of this world, they will feel that they are blessed and forgiven. The fire, the heat of this world is really less than that, a lot lesser than the hellfire. Ayah number 83 actually talks about this fire that we're just discussing about now, Ibrahim alayhi salam and his story. He broke the big idol and everyone was gone to a party or whatever that festival was. Behind them, Ibrahim alayhi salam broke the idol, and these people put him in the fire. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala converted the fire into a peaceful thing for Ibrahim alayhi salam that was not burning him. Excuse me. And this is where Ibrahim alayhi salam was also given a bishara of Ismail alayhi salam, that Ismail will be born in your house. And then he was given a bishara that when he will be grown, you will be sacrificing him. He saw a dream for that. And they both obeyed Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and they all being successful in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala at the end of the day. When the time came, Ismail alayhi salam born, and they went for sacrifice. As Ibrahim was going to sacrifice Ismail alayhi salam for sure, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make his dream come true and make him sure that he's not really sacrificing his son, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saved him and replaced it with something else. And that also is coming in the next surah 105 and onward. Ibrahim alayhi salam dream that we just talked about was true, right? And he was replaced with a sheep, and some says it was another animal, but again, he was saved. And then what happened is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala referred this sacrifice to a zibhe azim, the greatest sacrifice. And then 105 and onward, this Quran, this surah talks about Yunus alayhi salam, that he ran away from his qawm, his ummah. He was tired of them. He just gave up. He was so frustrated with them that they're not coming and following the right path. He reached out to a river and he ride on a boat, and the boat was going and there was a big water waves coming in, and they decided that we have to take one person out of the boat, otherwise this whole boat will be upside down and everyone will die. So one person have to die, and one person have to leave the boat. They did a lucky draw, and it was Yunus alayhi salam's name came out of that lucky draw, and now he had to jump. And when he jumped out of the boat, a fish came and swallowed him in his stomach. And Yunus alayhi salam stayed there for a long time in the stomach of the fish, and he was very sorry to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that he did wrong. He went away from his responsibility. He went away from the people, even they were not listening to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He got frustrated. He was extremely sorry to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and he remembered the dua he did, La ilaha illa anta subhanaka inni kuntu minas zalimin. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala listened to him, and he guided fish to go on the dry patch and throwed out Yunus alayhi salam. And Yunus alayhi salam was sick, and he came out sick, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made a pumpkin or a bottle gourd plant on top of him. that gave him shadow, and he was cured ultimately. This is where we end our surah here, Surah Safat, and now we will be entering in the Surah Sod, which is 18th alphabet of Arabic language, Sod. So that's what this surah is. It's a 38th number surah, and then it has 5 rukus and 88 ayahs in this surah. The surah talks about, in the ayah number 10 and onwards, especially about the mushriks, who are proud of their power. They said, we are very powerful, very strong. And they claimed to be gods, that we are gods. Now we're that powerful enough. And Allah challenged them, okay, fine, if you claim that you are a god and you can be everything, and you created everything, suns and skies and everything in between, if you have done it, all right, so let's start walking towards the sky. Show me if you can take even 2 steps. 1, you may, because you can raise your first leg. Second leg, you cannot. So show me if you can start walking towards the sky if you claim that you're God. But if you cannot, then accept your weakness. Accept your weakness and accept the greatness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then the surah talks about the Nuh and Ad and Fir'aun and Samud and Lut and Ashab Alaika, who refused the prophets, and they all got punished. So it's a kind of reminder. So far we have seen that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala keep repeating these things for us, so we can learn more in detail and we can remember the message that what happened, and why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us that He don't want us part of those people. It seems to me Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not like, maybe, I'm not saying it na'uzubillah maybe, but that's what my thought is, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loved us so much, He don't like that He punished the people. So He's mentioning again, O Muslim Ummah, you don't fall into trap of those things, so you don't get the punishment. Ameen, inshallah. In ayah 17, it talks about Daud alayhi salam and his miracles, and how he was guiding the wrong people and the right people, and he was like making the whole way, and their miracles and all that. Daud alayhi salam, that mountains and the birds were also worshipping with him. This is where we get another message from this surah, is that the shar is the bad, is shaitan, is the negative things, is the bad deeds are always wrong and always weak, and they make you weak as well. Whereas the right deeds and the right things always make you strong and guide you to the right path. And at the end, we win. As we heard, that speaking lie at the front is easy, but the consequences are worst. But speaking truth at the front may be a little difficult, but consequences are great. You get a lot of benefits there. In ayah 41, problems of Ayyub alayhi salam been discussed here. And Allah ordered him to hit his foot on the ground, and the water start coming out of the ground, drinkable water where he can drink it and take shower of it. And this water was a shifa, was a cure. And Allah tested him with the poorness, and then Allah granted him with a double rewards as well. Everything doubled for him. So this is again one thing, is that a small thing that tells us that if there are not the good days anymore in your life, the bad days will also go away, and the good days will also come back again. There's not always a night, there's always a day after that, a day after night, a night after day. So we know with the fact there is always a sequence and process. So there is something wrong, Allah is testing you with the tough times, there will be a convenient and ease time also coming soon, inshallah. And then at one point, Hazrat Ayyub alayhi salam, I believe he owed, for something, he owed that I'm going to hit 100 sticks to my wife. And the situation came, and then he had to hit it. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala changed an option that wasn't easy by with the very tiny small sticks that we used to clean the house. So he gave him those 100 of them and say, okay, fine, you can hit that. Now your O is complete, and then you can go away with that just fine. We know that Hazrat Ayyub alayhi salam was very patient, and he was favorite of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And he was always referring to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for any issues or matters in his life. So this is, dear brothers and sisters, I want you to understand that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is mentioning about Ayyub alayhi salam here, and mentioning that he was always referring to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for any matters of his life. It's his wedding or someone else's wedding, or it's making a small decision, guiding people to the right path, or any action he was going to perform, Ayyub alayhi salam always referred to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He was very patient. So if he have those patience, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala added him to his favorite people's list. So if you and I want to be the favorite, I think this is a message right here for us, is that we need to be patient, and we need to be what? Refer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for anything we need, for any matters in our life, with the wife, with the kids, or anything that we have to do, we have to refer back to them. So then ayah number 49 talks about the Ahle Tawa. So the blessing of Jannah and the people of hell will get many kinds of azabs. So this is what we learn also here in ayah 49 as well. Ayah 71 and onward, we learned that creation of Adam alayhi salam, angels bow down, Shaitan refused, the Iblis, and he said, I am refusing because of his arrogance. And then due to a fact that he thought that he had been created by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with the fire, and we have been created with the dirt, with the clay, he didn't like that. He said, I am superior. I'm not going to bow down in front of him. Whereas angels were created with the nur, that was even the more pure form, they did not refuse. They simply bow down in front of Adam alayhi salam. But he did make arguments, and he did not bow down in front of Adam alayhi salam. So that's why he became Shaitan after his name was Iblis. He was ranked high, and now he was ranked even down, really worst place. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said to him, get out of Jannah. And then you have a la'natullah, which means that he is cursed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. His extension is given to him till the day of Qiyamah. And he promised to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that he will mislead the people of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But he will not be able to misguide or mislead the people of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Those are on the right path. Those are the favorite people of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He will not be able to misguide them. So ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us amongst those people, those cannot be misguided by Shaitan. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to enter us in his favorite people, where we do not become someone like Shaitan, those feel that we are superior for any reason of the blessing that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us more humble and nice and kind in this world and the hereafter. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala like them, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can say that, yes, look, this is the best example of my Khalifa, my Naib, my second in the earth. This is the kind of an example I'm looking at. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us amongst all of those people, inshallah, Ameen. And this is again the message that we learned here, that asking for forgiveness. Remember, Hazrat Adam alayhi salam ate that tree, fruit of that tree, and then he started saying sorry to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then once Shaitan make a mistake, he was not saying sorry. He became even arrogant and start arguing with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. No, I am superior. I am superior. I'm more powerful. Hazrat Yunus alayhi salam, Hazrat Nuh alayhi salam, Hazrat Shuaib alayhi salam, Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam, Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alayhi salam. I mean, every prophet that you look at have a place in their life where they kept asking for forgiveness from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala all day and all night long. And Shaitan, what he did, he committed a mistake, and he stuck on that mistake, on his wrong action, on his wrong point of view, and kept giving arguments, reasoning, fake, lame reasoning. And that is the way of Shaitan, that I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to keep us away from that argumental, useless arguments, and keep making lame excuses way. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us all from that way and guide us to the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, where we are thankful, humble, and asking for forgiveness from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala at any given time in our life. So this is where we end our surah that we're talking about now, with the surah Sa'd, and we enter into surah Az-Zumar, which is 39th surah, a Makkan surah, which means Zumar means the troops. The troops is the meaning of the Zumar. 8 rukus and 75 ayahs of the surah. It talks that the deen is the only Allah only. So this is the deen. The deen is only Allah. So this is what we learn in this beginning of the surah, that This is all about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Deen, the religion, is for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala only. You cannot worship anyone else. He told you to work, to follow Atiullah wa Atiur Rasul, follow Allah and follow Rasul. He told you wa tasimu bihablillahi jamiyan wa la bihablillah, the rope of Allah. So Atiullah and Ati Rasulullah, the Rasul of Allah. So everything, if you would pay a little more attention, goes back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Everything we talk about, we listen about, is belonging to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this deenullah is also that something belongs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which means that every action of ours, every thought of ours should be very conscious about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We should not be making any shirk. We should not be thinking that anything that can come and save us other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Like, we have been into so many wrong deeds and wrong actions in our lives at this point, where we made wrongfully our different gods. May Allah protect us if we have done anything intentionally or unintentionally. In the sake of the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if we have gone towards so far point in that love, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bring us back to the right path where we can have the real balance. So if we are involved in any bad deeds, bad habits, or bad things, we need to think that everything we do and we learn in this religion is for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You're not here that you're listening me. You like me for some reason, you're listening. You're not here for that reason. You're not here that Brother Zahid is sending messages to everyone. Hey, come everyone, join at 6 p.m. You're not here that it's just Ramadan 1 month and you can listen this thing fine. That's not what you're here for. You're here for listening the message of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So he can guide us. He can make us the best of the mankind. So we can be the best civilized people. So we can be the favorite of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on this day and the day of judgment as well. That's what our reason is. So we need to make sure that that stays in our mind forever and always. And this tells us further down this in the surah that mushrikeen says that the idols will bring them close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Idols. So mushrik at least have some idols. They said it. Some people here in this world, they say that my big scholar of the religion, my peer, my murshid, he will bring me close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If I'll be trouble, he will save me. He will guide me only. So I think I understand the concept of those schools of the religious institutes where those people have done a huge, big job in serving Allah and His religion. But when the limit is crossed, that people start thinking that these idols will make us close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that is wrong. Allah is already close to you. Allah is already listening you directly, listening me directly. Why would I need a middleman in the mix? Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam came in the mix to deliver the message that you are direct. He's not in the mix anymore. He's telling me, follow Allah and His Rasul so you can practice the religion well, but Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is not standing in the middle at this time. You always raise hand and says, Ya Allah, grant me this, grant me that. That's how it should be. And the idols, that those were in the middle of Allah and the mushrikeen. They were saying, we will ask the idols and idols will convey our message to God. We're worshiping God still, but idols are in the middle. They're serving the need. The same way that people nowadays are doing quite a lot. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to keep us all safe and protected and not following the people or the path of the people, those guide us towards shaitan. The path of the people, those make their own lives easy because they mislead people that come to me and I will guide you to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Come to me and I will have your shifa at the day of the judgment. I will protect you from all problems and the pains in the world. I'll make dua for you and you will be okay. Making dua, thank you so much. You all of you, please make dua for me as well. But I don't have to go to one specific person to ask him for dua, that only he can make dua for me. And this comes to an extent where I will stop making dua myself, but I will ask him, please make dua for me. I will not even bother for that. These things are completely wrong, and these mislead really bad. So I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to not to make amongst any of those people, those are thinking like mushrik of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Those are mentioned in the Surah Az-Zumar, that mushrik says what? That we have idols in the middle, and they will do shifa'ah for us to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and they will bring us close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's not the case here. That's why they were mushriks. The approach was wrong. And then Allah says that Allah don't guide the liar kafirs. The kuffar, they're lying for no reason. They have no evidence. They have no proof that the idols will take them or will lead them to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So they're liars, and Allah will not guide them. Allah don't guide the kafirs. In ayah number 5, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks that He created the skies and earths. He tells this message again. He said that there is a complete system of a day and a night, and the day and the night are in the sequence. Sun and moon are in their own orbits. All human born from one individual, Adam alayhi salam, and couples from him too. And Allah completes the process of birth in the womb of a woman. And He knows all the dark layers and the process happening in the womb of a woman that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows, and He completes that complete process. It's not that woman is creating, and she would have no idea what's going on inside. The man, the father, don't have no idea what's going on inside. The doctors can judge and guess to their best extent with the technology, but they still don't have a control on the life and birth. The process and how this thing is multiplying and growing, they have no control on it. The human can tell that, yes, I have my phone, it's up and running, and its battery will be out, and this device will not work. We are all created without batteries. It's all Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's system, and only He knows the hikmah and the way why this does exist and how it does exist, all of this and stuff, inshallah. And then it says that Allah sent the best thing to us. And remember, what is that? Bihablillah, the rope of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Quran. Allah sent the best thing to us, the best message to us. And it's a sequential, it's logical. It has the way that if you think or if you have brain, it will make sense to you. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that fear Allah and pay attention to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When you're praying, remember we talked about yesterday, khushu and khudu, which means that once we are praying, our eyes, our mind, our brain should be concentrated to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When we start the prayer, what we do, we say, Allahu Akbar. So what we do with this one is that all worldly matters, everything else from my eyes and my brain is going away, and I'm going to stay focused only to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this prayer. Every single word I'm going to recite will be speaking to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala directly. So that's what the attention Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants and asks us to do that. So dear brothers and sisters, alhamdulillah, this is where we end our juz today. And then inshallah we'll go in juz 24. Today is not an odd night, yesterday was, but tomorrow will be another one. So what I would suggest is so please make sure we all do as much as we in this month. We know the rewards are multiplied. And I am the one who believes strongly that even if we do any good deeds and good actions out of Ramadan as well, we get rewarded from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala just fine. We will be, inshallah. But this is the best season, the season of holidays. Remember, we know the Black Friday sales and Christmas sales and Good Friday sales and I don't know what else sales going on. So they are following the method of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that this is the month of good deeds. This is a month of a revival. This is month of training. This is month of revision of your religion and iman, and learn as much as you can. So spend more time to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this 1 month will set a guidance for the rest of 11 months for you, inshallah. I'm not sure if you were able to listen to my Why Ramadan on Friday, Friday before last, the talk I did at the Friday at Jummah time. So that talk about the same thing. That's what the whole topic was about. That make sure that we get the bounties in this month, because this month is here for a reason. It's here for a reason that I spend about 30 days with you all. You spend 30 days with me live here, so we can learn the message of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to the maximum extent. All right, so I will not take more of your time. I'll ask every one of you to please Remember me in your du'as always. Whenever you're raising hands to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, please don't forget me and my family as well. Remember us all in your du'as. Make sure that you ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The first thing for sure is the fid dunya hasana wa fil akhirati hasana, the best of the deeds, the best of the things in the dunya and the hereafter. Don't forget to ask that first. And then you can ask for those things. Obviously, there's no problem that you can ask whatever you want. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is so kind and blessing one that can bless us for anything we need, inshallah. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Rabbana taqabbal minna, innaka anta samiul alim. Oh Lord, accept this from us, this service, accept from us, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And you are the one who hears all and all, known all. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. O Lord, our Lord, give us good in this world and good in the hereafter, and defend us from the torment of the fire. Ya Rabbal Alameen, please keep us safe from that. ربنا أفرغ علينا صبرا وثبت أقدامنا وانصرنا على القوم الكافرين. O Lord, O our Rabb, O Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, fill our heart with the steadfastness. Make our steps firm and help us, give us victory against the unbelievers. Ameen Ya Rabbal Alameen. Rabbana la tu'akhizna in nasina aw akhtana. O Lord, do not punish us if we forget or make any mistakes. Rabbana la tu'akhizna in nasina aw akhtana. Rabbana la tu'akhizna in nasina aw akhtana. ربنا ولا تحمل علينا إصرا كما حملته على الذين من قبلنا. O our Rabb, O Lord, do not place on us a burden as you placed on those before us. We have been hearing all the stories in this revision of Quran. Those people were punished by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we are asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to please do not make us amongst those people. ربنا ولا تحملنا ما لا طاقة لنا به واعف عنا واغفر لنا وارحمنا أنت مولانا فانصرنا على القوم الكافرين. O Rabb, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, please lay not on us the kind of burden that we have no strength to bear. Pardon us, forgive us, have mercy on us. You are our protector. Help us against the unbelievers, Ya Rabbul Alameen. With the same dua, I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to keep us all protected, inshallah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the best of the best in the month of Ramadan and the fasting, inshallah. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to keep you all and your time blessed, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept your and mine efforts to come here and listen to the message of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and give us the ability to listen, learn, and share the same message with amongst all of us and between the other ummah as well. Wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Rahmatuka ya arhamar rahimin. Assalamu alaikum.